On a personal level, you know, I love my relationship with Lloyd. I think he's a great guy. He was a big personality around here, a big presence in the locker room. He was a member of our leadership council. And in so many ways, I really enjoyed getting to know Lloyd and certainly coaching him. The decision to move him was a very, very difficult one, and one that wasn't taken lightly and has been thought about over time. But it's one that we think we need to make as an organization to move forward and get better. So, moving him to DC was not our preference. But given the different scenarios, what DC offered, we felt like was clear in a way the best package. And even with that being said, it was hard to pull the trigger because the last thing you want to do is give one of your good players to your biggest rival. So that being said, I wish Lloyd the best of luck. I hope in all ways that he's able to move forward in a positive way and also reflect positively on his time here, because we certainly all do.
With Lloyd gone, is this an opportunity for a player like Alex to show you what he's got?
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that I think need to step up. Certainly Alex Mule is one of them, and I think he started to really establish himself and show what he's about. I think Gonzalo Varone has a great opportunity and needs to step up his game and now show that he understands what this takes. I think Sean Wright-Phillips needs to help fill the void. I think Derek Etienne. And then in general, I think the team needs to know that there's a strong belief for what we have here, and that we made a move, but we need everybody to step forward in a big way and be ready to get better.
What does John Wolnick tell you with the USL team? Because obviously I saw you earlier with him talking, and how many of those players are actually forcing your hand or even Ali's hand to make moves to get them to be on the first team?
Listen, there's the ability for us to move some of those guys up if possible, or if we would like to. So I think a lot of those guys have done well and have made us. That's been part of the discussion. And I could go through the names. They would be, Zach Carroll went down there, so he's a guy. Aaron Long, Stefano Bonomo, Vincent Beescourt, Florian Valo. So, those are just a few. There's a lot of guys that we think are doing really well there. So, it's been a really good relationship to have that team with our team. The shared experiences that we have and shared philosophy that we have means that the transition is often seamless. So, it does give us flexibility in our roster with the first team.
With the move for Lloyd, is it fair to say that it was done more with the future in mind, perhaps potential moves, rather than trading away an important piece over the past few seasons for the team? It was about future personnel moves, potentially.
Well, again, it was done with the future in mind, but also with the present in mind. So it wasn't done specifically for a player move right now. Let me make that clear, okay? Now there's potential for some player moves in this transfer window, but this was done on a lot of different levels to strengthen our club. So the allocation helps with flexibility for the roster. It helps with flexibility of making future moves, and we also think that there's potential for guys that are here to step up and fill the role in a big way.
Moving on to Sunday, your defense is going to have to deal with a player like Adi, who's 6'4". I think he scored 9 goals already. What challenges does he face for your back line?
Yeah, he's the best target man in the league. He's a big presence for them. If things break down, he's the bailout for them to play forward and him to hold on to balls and bring the rest of the team in. Obviously, when we start pressing, we have to be aware of that and that's a tactic that they will most likely use. You can't play into Adi's hands by just let him feel you and by just letting him back into you. So our defenders will do a good job of making sure that they just aren't stationary. And then when they start to move the ball around and the good gifted attacking players that they have, he's good at getting in the box and finding ways to score goals. So it's a big challenge on the day. It's a very good team. I have a lot of obviously they won the championship last year, but their attacking core of players can unbalance you in a lot of different ways.
What about Darlington Nagbe? I mean, he's one of those that can be very dangerous with and without the ball.
Yeah, I think one of the things about Darlington that's really amazing is in the tightest of spaces he finds ways to get out, and that's whether on the dribble or a pass. So we have to be aware that when we're pressing and when he gets the ball, that one guy may not be enough, that we need to compress the field with more and make sure that we close down his options and try to limit him from wiggling out of tight spots and then hurting us. So that's a big challenge. And he's got weapons, to have Milano and Maddox on the move. Those are two guys that are very good, very fast, very clever. So it'll be a big challenge for our back four, for sure.
Is Nagby one of the most exciting, quote-unquote, American players that you think's in the league right now, young American players?
Yeah, I think he's just a really he's a fun player to watch because he's so clever and so sharp on the ball, and his ability to wrong foot defenders and set up a pass or a shot or a final play is quite good. So, I know there's been a lot of people calling for more of him in the national team, and I can see why, because he's a good player.
The Kamara Lawrence was taking part in some of the scrimmages today. How far away is he from coming back to the team?
He's, as of yesterday, he's 3 weeks. Typically, it's 4 weeks for about return to play. So, a week from now, hopefully he'll be starting to initiate into training. And then that'll be good to start getting him back, I think. And then after that, maybe he'll be a week or two away from starting to think about first team minutes.
And with Damian, is he getting to the point where we could see him get some minutes in the MLS game?
Yeah, I think he came through the Club America game in a really good way, and I think he's getting himself up to speed soccer-wise, and I think he's getting stronger every day physically, so he's really getting close.